queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross. Turn up queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross. Turn up queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross. Turn up queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross. Turn up queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross. Turn up queen, bitch, you know I wear the cross.
It's your number one babe, Kimm Kaye. What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all? Today I am going to be doing a video just showing you guys how I do my eyebrows. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I get a lot of inquiries and a lot of compliments on my eyebrows and how I do them. So I figured it'd be a good idea to just do a little video and show you guys how I do them. So let's get into it. So first I take my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow brush that I copped from Sephora, and I just take the spoolie in there and I just comb out my eyebrows, brush out my eyebrows and make sure they're, you know, nice and flat and even as possible. So that's one of my quick tips there. Starting out, you do want to make sure your eyebrows are arched, cleaned up, or threaded in some type of way. It just makes this whole eyebrow enhancement process a lot easier and quicker for you because it's less work that you have to do to cover up those little extra hairs. And then I take my First Base Premier Primer from NYX and prime down my face because I want these eyebrows to stay intact all day. So I make sure I do that and, you know, fan that out, let it dry. And yeah, that should be enough. Okay, so then I take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in the color Chocolate. And that's what I use. That is really it. I love that stuff. I've been using it for years, and it's the best product that I found for my eyebrows so far. So with this stuff, a little goes a very long way. You do not need a lot. So the first thing I do is my outline. When doing this, you want to do just one even stroke. You don't want to pick up your brush and put it down and pick it up because it creates like an uneven outline. So you want it to be even as possible, and to do that you just want to do like one stroke across or less as possible, and it does take some time to kind of get that down. And then I do my bottom layer and I kind of go across first, like to where the top of the brow kind of ends, and do like a straight line just because it's easier. And then I just take my finger and kind of blend that straight line out, and then pick up where it left off and finish my tail. And as you can see, I'm kind of picking up my brush and putting it down, which is why I'm messing up right there. So I'm just trying to find that right angle so I can get that even stroke. I got it. I think it looks good enough. So I'm gonna move on to the next side, and I do outline both of them first because I like to make sure they're even before I fill them in, just in case I mess up. All I'll have to redo is the outline instead of the whole entire brow. So yeah, and as you can see, my natural eyebrows are uneven. Yeah, they're uneven. So it's a little bit of a struggle for me to kind of get them even, which is why I do the outline first, because I want to make sure they're even, like I said, before I get too far in the process. And I saw that they weren't, so I had to erase that and just start over, and that's okay. Like I said, nobody's exactly perfect at this. You do mess up along the way, which is why I didn't edit that out. I kind of want y'all to see the struggle and just to know that it takes a little effort, but the end result is worth it. So right now I'm just kind of frustrated with my camera's autofocus, because every time I put my hand up, it wants to focus on my hand instead of my eyebrow. But that's my issue, not y'all's. So yeah, I'm just doing the same exact thing I did on the other side. Just making sure my outline is even, and since I couldn't get that one even stroke, I'm picking up and putting down my brush, which makes this process a little difficult, but it's what I have to do on this side. So I'm just trying to make sure that arch area is even on both sides, because you don't want to be looking confused all day now. Okay, so it's getting there. It's getting there. So I'm just picking up a little bit more product, very lightly. You don't want to mash your brush in it. You just want to dip it in there very slightly. Like I said, a little goes a long way. And I'm just blending out that that line there, so I can finish off my tail. Boom. And just making sure it's even, and I think it's even. Yep, they look even to me. So I think I'm good to start going and filling them in now. So I'm just gonna start on the side I started my outline on, and I always start at the tail, because I do like a fade out technique, if that's what you may call it, in the front. So you guys will see how I do that shortly, but I just start by filling in the tails, making sure it's even, and darken those bad babies in. Go on ahead and enhance them up. Enhance them up. So right now I'm just going over all the kind of empty spots and just filling those in, just using the product that I have left over from the last time when I dipped in. Like I said, the stuff a little goes a very, very long way. So I'm just checking for any light spots, and I noticed that this side is a little thinner than the right side, so I'm just fixing that. And I picked up a little more product to fill in that bald spot that's right there. And once it's all filled in, I just comb it all out again to make sure all the product is spread out and even with my natural eyebrows. And if there's any more empty spots, bald spots, whatever, I just fill those in with a little more product, and I think I'm good. Everything looks filled in and natural. So I'm gonna take whatever product that is left on this brush and I'm gonna gently wipe it off. Not all of it, but just a great amount of it. I'm just wiping it off. And the purpose of that is for my fade out technique that I mentioned, that I do in the front, which is what I'm doing, because you want it to be lighter than the middle and the tail of the eyebrow. You don't want it to all be dark. You want it to naturally fade out just like your natural eyebrows do. So that's why I do that. So what's happened is, remember when I noticed that they were a little bit uneven in the front? I thought I fixed it, but I guess I didn't. So I'm not too worried about it. As you'll see, that'll kind of fix itself as I continue to do my fade out technique and kind of just form a unibrow. That unibrow actually helps me to make sure that they're even as they kind of like flare out in the beginning. So yep, that's what I'm doing now. That unibrow. Dig that unibrow. But that's okay, because we gonna fix all of that with some bam LA Pro, and this is Cool Tan concealer brush from Ulta. So now I just start applying the concealer. I usually just do my underbrow, but today, since I kind of got some imperfections at my top outline, I am going to do the top as well. So with this, you just kind of want to keep the same techniques as when you apply the dip brow pomade. With the concealer on the brush, you don't want to pick it up and put it back down too much. You want to just try to do one even stroke across. Doesn't always happen that way though, so you can always go in that little curve arch area at the tail and just kind of fill in the spots there. And as you can see, I kind of went a little too cray with the concealer at the tail, so I had to go back in with a little product, and I just used whatever was left on my brush from the last dip and fix that tail there. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on my right side here. So as you can see, I am picking up and putting that brush down, but you need to be very careful with that, because it can cause some imperfections, and it can even make you mess up. So I try to do one even stroke like in the beginning, and then at the tail, of course, I'm gonna have to do some special tailoring there. But as long as you got a good brush, you should be good to go. I think these are even. So now I'm just gonna clean up my unibrow. Hate to see it go, but I love to see its form. I like having a unibrow. I'm weird like that. So yeah, you just want to take some more concealer, put it on that brush, and then, you know, just slowly but surely make that unibrow go bye-bye. And I usually do a more dramatic look, and that's just, you know, kind of keep them close together, because like I said, I'm weird like that. I like a little unibrow look. So I'm just taking the concealer itself and using the applicator that came attached to that, and just cleaning up any imperfections, any dark spots that might have been left behind, making sure everything's evened out. There's no room for error. And then I'm just gonna lightly take that applicator and a little bit of concealer, very little, and then just slightly clean up my top. Not gonna do too much there at all. And the good thing about doing the top of your brow as well is it gives it that fresh, I just got my eyebrows waxed look, because it gives you that highlight, you know, around your eye. So that's another benefit to doing that. That's about how far apart I like them. But since I'm going on an interview, I don't want them to be that dramatic. So I'm gonna make them, you know, push them back a little farther. I just like to even it up with where my the crease of my eyes start, because that's normally where your natural brows start. And now I'm doing my fade out technique. Just lightly, I'm just gonna take whatever products still left on hanging out on my eyebrow brush, and just lightly, you know, fade out those little harsh blunt outline. Okay, so I'm content with the brows. I'm just gonna blend. And I usually use my little blender. But first, take my Real Techniques foundation brush and just blend. So this is pretty much the final step to my eyebrows. I just take that foundation brush from Real Techniques and I just blend it. I don't put anything on it. It's probably some leftover foundation on there, but I didn't apply anything extra. I'm just cleaning it up, you know, blending everything out, blending that foundation in. Ooh, you see what I just did? I just took the tip off of my arch. But I'm gonna show y'all how we can fix that, because these things happen. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hurry and fix that. And I didn't put any more product on my brush. Again, a little goes a very long way. I just took what was left and I went directly in that arch and just made it more pointy, and just went in and went up on that to put my arch back in my arch. And I'm gonna just fill that little spot in, and I think we're ready. She ready. So that is all I have for you beautiful people today. Thanks for watching Cake Faces, and as always, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, thanks for watching.
cakes. Kimmy got cake. Kimmy caked. Kimmy is caked. Caked up Kimmy.
It feels really good to say you booked and busy and be really booked and fucking busy. Cause I'm about to get off Snapchat. I'm not about to go to sleep, but I'm about to get the hell off of here.